you don't automatically get shots. The mandatory system is not designed for that anymore.
But Canelo was not stripped of that title because he had a mandatory fight in the WBC.
Should no, they will have a regular champion.
Do you agree if you're mandatory champion and you get beat, you should just remain franchise?
Right, or fight for another organization, for Christ's sake. There's 3 organizations. There's plenty of opportunity. Don't bother Canelo. I mean, he's not my fighter, but he's a face of boxing, face of particularly with Mexican Americans and Mexicans. He's the only friggin' guy that the zone has that can move the needle even this much as far as subscription. Let him fight who he chooses to fight. And if you don't want to watch him, don't cover his fights and don't go to his fight. That's my position. Now, I don't think they should make franchise willy-nilly, but Canelo deserves the franchise tag.
What about Lomachenko?
Lomachenko doesn't deserve it yet. He doesn't deserve it yet. He has 2 belts. Hopefully, if the BBC doesn't interfere, he'll have 3 belts, and then he'll fight Comey or Teofimo Lopez and have 4 belts. And then hopefully Mauricio will make him a franchise champion.
Bob, are you saying Canelo deserves it because of his popularity?
And also because of his body of work, and because he's the only friggin' fighter in that division who can move the needle.
Eddie, your thoughts on the franchise champion?
No.
Look, I'm not Canelo's promoter. I wish I was, but I'm not. I'm just saying where I'm coming from.
Would you have a problem?
What?
Does Deontay Wilder deserve it?
If he beats Tyson Fury twice, yeah. That'd be pretty good.
Oh, you mean
I mean, better than a guy who tested positive for steroids and it becoming the mandatory. I mean, give me a break.
Your reaction, Eddie?
What's that?
Your reaction?
Oh, I'm looking forward to August the 31st in London. All the British Boxing Board of Control referee's got to do is...
Let me tell you, I'm helping him. He doesn't realize it. He thinks I'm denigrating him. I'm helping him because every person who follows boxing in the United Kingdom is going to either be at the O2 Arena on August 31st to see what shenanigans the British Board of Boxing Control or we'll buy it on pay-per-view. You should thank me.
Thank you, Bob. I think that I don't agree with everything the British Boxing Board of Control do, but I will say, Bob, some of the things they employ, particularly on a medical side,
yes,
is so many levels above what the commissions do here.
That's right.
We talked about
sure, because they're doing things levels above the commissions here, and when a guy tests positive, even preliminary, they don't tell the opponent. That's not a medical issue, right?
Boxing Board of Control.
They never do it. What?
That's UCAT, but anyway, it's another.
Well, okay. You're all the same, all you Brits.
Eddie, how come a lot of promoters are not working together, but you guys seem to be working?
Not anymore after what he just said.
You guys had another one coming up with
I said with something with Chris Mannix, what I love about Bobby is he will categorically slag you off to your face. He will verbally abuse you, right? He will make you feel like this big, and you will leave that conversation and think, fuck Bob Arum. And then he'll phone you up a minute later and go, right, about this fight, are we going to get it done?
Because only a moron takes any of this serious.
Yeah, it's true. But actually,
I mean, you got to be nuts to take it serious. I love this guy, I love his father. I mean, what am I going to say? But I'll slack off on you. You can do the same to me. That's okay.
All right, you miserable bastard. Right, anyway. No, but on a serious note, like, I think Top Rank, there's a lot of similarities between the two companies. Like what they've done in America is very similar to our position in the UK. So all their people, Carl, Brad, Harrison, we've got people on the same kind of level that get on very well. So we get deals done very quickly. We're very competitive against each other, and it's great for boxing. I mean, you saw it tonight. If promoters wouldn't work together, we wouldn't have got tonight.
So are we going to get Tevin and JoJo?
Well, they're both. JoJo's not with either of us, so that's going to be a
I'm
problem.
asking you just.
No, if they want a unification, maybe Floyd doesn't give him Davis, but I got 230-pound champions, and I'm happy to sit down and
The Chelsea, you got eaten.
Yo, what's up, fight fans? It's your man 3K the Boss, aka Mr. Two Hands Up. You know what it is. All right, man. So shout out to the Recycle King, man. It's been a whole lot of recycled fights going on this year, man. A lot of people are still subscribed to the Red Pill. I mean, they still suffer within loving what they got over there at the welterweight, you know, like to differentiate from what the truth really is, exist in the 78 sports and the barbershop conversations and the boxing ego realms and things of that nature. And they don't recognize what's going on the other side. So now we, you know what I mean, like I said earlier today when I dropped the Ramirez video, I said, man, nobody was a loser last night. I said both Bob Arum and Eddie Hearn won. You want to know why I say that? Because officially the fight was so fucking awesome that it was brutal, it was beautiful, it was everything, it was passionate, it was tenacious, it was everything boxing was supposed to be. Everybody got their fucking money's worth. Everybody that traveled to fucking Texas and witnessed that bout, it was everything. So everything that Bob Arum and Eddie Hearn is doing with this whole 4-phased initiative that they've already accomplished have been nothing short of amazing. These niggas are trying to, you know, they're tag teaming it. You got Magneto, and you got Professor X. You got Dazn, Matchroom, and you got Top Rank. Put them niggas together, we got Top Room USA, bro. They're coming together and they're putting forth fights, because the one thing that you guys have to realize, and this is a point that I thought about, and I thought this was a good point, and I wonder if you guys agree with me. A lot of boxers truly don't have that high magnitude of star power. Every boxer, and I'm talking about the champion. And those upper prospects and contenders, you know, they got those guys that will tune in and watch you on a free watch, anywhere between, on average, 395,000 views or better. You know what I mean? Top guys, some of them only hit 890 views on free channels and shit, if you look at certain PVC numbers and things of that nature. But when you put certain names together, like even in the instance for the PVC, like you put Manny Pacquiao and Keith Thurman together, even though that was a Recycle King move, you know, Manny Pacquiao's power, you know, put 1.1 million people in front of that screen. You know, because Keith, not only did Manny Pacquiao fight that evening, but he brought in another decent name and a heralded, you know, 2-time champion. So, with that being said, Keith Thurman wouldn't be able to do that without Manny Pacquiao. So what Bob Arum and Eddie Hearn are doing, even in all of the shade and the back and forth and the bullshit that Bob Arum kicks up there, and I don't hate on it, because some of it's the truth, some of it's hot air, and you know, they got a rivalry, they're rival promotions, but they understand what's going on over at the PBC, and if they manage to, you know, monopolize and move and get these belts and these divisions like they've been doing, and especially what they're seeing in the heavyweight division, and I think that might be another understanding to try to put that foot on the gas and talk about that. And that's why they're talking about so many champions in cross promotion, because there's a cry in the press, there's a cry with the true fans of boxing, and there's just a cry with the people of that, you know, you're not really getting the fights that you truly want to see. And then the fights that you get to see, some of them are lackluster, they're not all great, and the ones that you don't really pay attention to are the ones that are always going to be fight of the year. The lackluster guys, the guys that go for the gusto, that don't pay attention to, the ones that are getting that gritty check. They got to go home, that's going to eat that fucking cream of wheat in the morning. You know what I'm saying? So basically what I'm saying is, you take a Terrence Crawford, you know, Top Rank has, you know, Lomachenko, they have Terrence Crawford, and I mean, Dazn does have they do have Anthony Joshua, you know, megastar, and going to get bigger if he comes back and he gets this win. Everybody loves a comeback story. And they have Canelo Alvarez. So I truly understand what Bob Arum was saying, but you got to look at it from this perspective. This is what Bob Arum was trying to say. Yes, he feels as though it's okay for the Canelo to make the franchise move, and if, you know, he loses, that he's going to continue to reign supreme above the other heavyweights in division, even though he doesn't hold that belt, regardless about the, you know, the vacancy situations, and telling people they can go fight for other rival promotions, because there aren't really that many money makers in boxing. What I'm saying by there's not that many money makers in boxing, there's not that many guys that are marquee stars on paper that are truly bringing the numbers in. And the problem is there are plenty of prospects, and I'm talking even guys that are already heralded as great fighters that are pound for pound. There are plenty of prospects that are good in boxing, that truly can fight, and they don't get the fucking recognition that they deserve because they're not pushed right by the promotional outfits, because they don't have the ability to put them in front of another guy that is just as popular as they are, but they're not bringing in the numbers so they can come in and do a mega fight. So that's where the problem with Al Heyman comes into play. So when Bob Arum is talking about Canelo Alvarez being franchise champion, leaving him alone and letting him fight who he wants to fight and let him do what he wants to do, and basically just run wild at the top of the boxing community, I kind of get it, because why he's saying he's the only one who moves the needle, because in hindsight, when you truly think about it, Canelo Alvarez is the one that moves the needle, as well as Anthony Joshua. Those are the guys that bring in the money. Those are the guys that sell the tickets. But Canelo has the one thing that Anthony Joshua is still trying to build on. More American. Anthony Joshua hasn't conquered America yet. Canelo Alvarez has already conquered America. So if we got other fighters and rival promotions that are stars in their own right, that are amazing fighters, that can really be even better fighters if they're fighting at another guy that's at another promotional outfit that only brings in a certain crowd and a certain amount of people. You bring those guys together, then you're getting mega fights, because you're starting to see what happened from Jose Ramirez and Mighty Mo Hooker. That whole fight and that situation is gonna brings light on just boxing in a whole. Well, that's fight of the year material, because it was brutal, it was beautiful, it was tenacious, it was gut wrenching, you know, it was heart pounding. They fought with heart. It was painful. It was all of the things that boxing is, man. It is that poetic justice that is the sweet science, you know, and we have to have more of that. So you got to have a Bud Crawford and an Errol Spence. You want to know why you can't sit there and let that fight marinate? Because boxing needs that fight. So if you have Errol Spence and Bud Crawford fight right now, that's still going to do, in my opinion, if it don't do 1 million pay-per-view buys, it'll do 750,000. But enough people already know Errol Spence, and enough people already know Bud Crawford, to where they can do that, and it can be everything that it needs to be. And with the rematch clause, set it up for a rematch. And by the time you do the trilogy, you can't tell me that won't be a super fight. That wouldn't be Hagler and Hearns. That wouldn't be that won't be Frazier and Ali of that weight all over again. That wouldn't be everything that wouldn't be everything that boxing needs in a whole. The sport needs more. The sport needs more eyes on it. We need more great events, and we cannot have great events when you're sitting on the island, because let's think about it. That island is gonna fucking erode from having fruitful events, to where you're going to have to seek out other opponents that are outside of the regime. And then if they're already flourishing, they're not even going to worry about dealing with you. And if you deal with them, it's going to be on shitty terms, and they're going to make it that way. We don't even need that either. Because honestly, you know, I could care less about the business of boxing, because I don't get to indulge in any of that. You know, as a fan and as a true lover of the sport, I indulge in being able to visualize great events. And that's all we asking for as fans is great events. And in giving great events, you're gonna grow. All of your business is gonna grow. I can't see, you gotta understand that. And nothing about having a 0 on your record, and I don't know why that exists in the PBC's mind, tarnishes your legacy. Means you're going to be greater than Floyd because means you're going to be lesser of a man than Floyd. Because to be perfectly honest, Manny Pacquiao has more accolades than Floyd Mayweather Jr. as he sits right now, as he sits with 7 losses. So there's just a lot of things in the sport that I see. There's a lot of things in this camaraderie that I see that is going to change the game of boxing for the better. And honestly, I don't have any problem with that. They're talking about making Deontay Wilder freaking franchise champion if he beats freaking Tyson Fury twice. Well, I believe Tyson Fury is no more than a C+ fighter in a room full of truly elite heavyweights. If it went down, Tyson Fury can't hold his own, seriously. But that's just another story. Some people might think differently. I don't. Look at his fucking resume. Look at how many times people put his ass on the canvas. Tyson Fury isn't short. He's just heavy. But if you want to make Deontay Wilder franchise champion, I could give a fuck less because he'll self-destruct. He'll need a bigger fight. If he's going to cherry pick smaller opponents, he's not going to get no serious payday. You know, the payday is going to exist with the popular fighter. And the popular fighters are the ones that really excel in their craft, and they go out and they go up against the opposition that people want to see, because you're not making the money that you want in no names. Yeah, it looks good in a knockout, but the knockout is just supposed to, you know what I'm saying, get the pussy wet of the fucking the eyes of the fans, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just supposed to get people ready. It's supposed to warm you up a little bit. You know what I mean? To get your to get the new viewer ready for the big fights, you know what I'm saying, that are coming in the future, because they're gonna want to see you in bigger fights, man. It's just beautiful that you get a co-promoter situation, and people don't understand why you gotta stop paying attention to this PBC nonsense. And I'm not against the PBC, I'm just against the fact that the PBC don't work together. Gotta pay more attention to the co-promotions. You really gotta stop watching these bum recycle bouts over and over again. We gotta switch over to being more stingy with our viewership. Not watching these trash fights, man. Not paying for these pay-per-views that aren't worth the fuck, man, because it is on us. You know what I mean? If the fight, if the sport thrives, and really the sport isn't thriving, and a lot of people recognize that because they're not really putting on good fights. So what Bob Arum and Eddie Hearn is doing is absolutely genius. They're going to continue to keep doing it, and it'll get bigger and better. And it's going to phase out the other shit. And watch how eventually, you know what I'm saying, the ship will sail, man. I'm just telling you, it's what I see in the future, because that fight last night was that fucking good that it's just making people want more and more. And it's asking more questions, because think about it. Because now we're going to get Prograis, and we're going to get Josh Taylor. That's the best of the best at 140. So people are going to want to see the same thing at 147. Well, that's all I got for you guys today, man. I hope y'all enjoyed the video, man. As we always say, it costs you nothing to pay a nigga no mind. Man, shout out to the X-Men, man. Bob Arum and Eddie Hearn. Top Rank, Dazn, a.k.a. Top Room USA. Man, I'm telling y'all, get ready, because the climate of boxing is about to change, and it's about to go back to the old ways of doing shit. Mark my words. But it's going to take a little time, though. Respect.